Hello! Welcome back to Game Domain. My name is Chris, and today we are talking about Splatoon 3. It's hard to believe that there's already a new Splatoon game on the horizon. Splatoon 2 felt like such a dramatic improvement over the original game. It's hard to imagine what else they can change. Needless to say, Nintendo's going to have to change a lot in Splatoon 3 to make it really worth buying, especially since there's already a Splatoon game on the Switch. Here are 10 things that we believe Nintendo needs to do to make Splatoon 3 worth buying. Number 10. All the really boring, obvious stuff. Better weapons, better gear, better music, and of course, better stages. These are all pretty basic, and it's obvious that we should expect these improvements in a sequel, so let's just move on. Number 9. A better story. Splatoon 2's story mode felt a lot more like a tutorial for the game instead of an actual story. I already played through a tutorial in Splatoon 1, so why make the main campaign feel like one again? They fixed this issue with the Octo expansion, but that was a paid DLC that released way after the game came out. Plus, it was just way too short. Having a big new story mode that actually feels like a story will be a great addition. Judging by the return of the mammalians in the Splatoon 3 trailer, it looks like there will be a big emphasis on story in this next game. Chaos won the last Splatfest, and it shows. The world seems barren, and somehow a species that is very hard to pronounce is tied into all of this. Mammalians, mama aliens, How the hell am I supposed to even say this name? I don't even know. We haven't seen much yet, but the story mode seems very open and explorative judging by that vast desert we saw in the first trailer for the game. I've got high hopes that the story mode will actually be really great, but I've got my suspicions. This is coming from Nintendo, who likes to dramatize the stories of their games in their trailers. They made it seem like Breath of the Wild had some deep story between all of the trailers, but it turned out all the cool story elements in the game were already shown off in those trailers. Hopefully that's not the case with the story in Splatoon 3. There is one problem though, and that's that it probably won't matter how much better the story is. I mean, who actually buys Splatoon games for the stories? Close to no one, I imagine. The main selling point of these games is the online, which needs to be improved upon a lot to get people to want to purchase another entry. Number 8. Better online. This isn't just a problem with Splatoon 2. It's a problem with pretty much every first-party Nintendo game. You've heard people whine about this time and time again, but to be fair, the whining is pretty justified. Nintendo's online service is absolute garbage. Whether it be Smash Bros, Mario Kart, Mario Maker, or Splatoon, I'm sure you've had a bad experience with Nintendo Switch Online. I can't tell you how many times I've been pumped up in the middle of a ranked match, ready to secure the Rainmaker, and one of my teammates disconnects. It feels deflating and completely takes the wind out of my sails. Once a fellow Squid Kid disconnects, you can consider the match over. It would be a heck of a lot nicer if Nintendo included dedicated servers for Splatoon 3. Yet again, this isn't going to sell copies of Splatoon though. It would be a nice touch for the hardcore gamers, but the casual audience that makes up most of the sales probably couldn't care that much less. Number 7. Let us skip the news. I can't believe this is actually a feature in Splatoon 2. It was so annoying in the first game, and I was sure it'd be removed in the second. But no, they actually managed to make it even longer and even more annoying. I get the appeal of the news flashes, but come on. At the very least, there should be a skip button so you don't have to listen to the same old jokes every time you boot up the game. It's a drag having a button mash every time you boot up, and I'm honestly shocked this made it into Splatoon 2. If we see this again in Splatoon 3, I'd go out on a limb and say that someone at Nintendo is doing this on purpose for the sake of really bad jokes. Number 6. Don't put a time limit on salmon runs. This is such a Nintendo thing that makes no sense. Yeah, Nintendo was worried that people wouldn't be able to find matches, but I personally have never had a problem finding matches on this mode. Plenty of people enjoy this mode, and I'm sure people would play it even more if it were available 24/7. If I already have to pay for an online service to play this mode, at least have it available to play whenever I would like to. I shouldn't have to wait to use a service that I'm paying for. That's like if Netflix only allowed you to watch Squid Games between 2 and 8 p.m. Oh, you want to watch it tonight? Too bad. Guess you'll have to wait until tomorrow. Number 5. Better Splatfests. Splatfests were really cool at first, but to be honest, they got a bit stale. It felt like the same thing every time, especially because you can't play ranked modes while Splatfests are active. You need to play the Splatfests. I don't have a problem with this, but at least make the Splatfests more interesting. Add some more fun gimmicks like the rare 10 times multiplier that only happens during the Splatfest hours, or even through a 1 out of 10 chance to play ranked games to spice things up a bit. There are so many small changes that can be added to make Splatfests just a bit more flavorful. Number 4. Easier ways to get Super Sea Snails. One of the rewards that you actually do get from Splatfests are items called Super Sea Snails. Super Sea Snails are super useful since they are the only way to upgrade your gear. If you want to upgrade your gear, you absolutely need a stash of Super Sea Snails. But how do you get them now that Splatfests are over? Each time you level up. Technically, you can level up forever by resetting your level, so you can get infinite Super Sea Snails, but most of the time it takes forever to level up and you collect Super Sea Snails painfully slow. There needs to be an easier way to collect these, or even a brand new way to upgrade your gear in Splatoon 3 so people don't go crazy grinding at levels for the rest of time. Number 3. Get rid of the gold flags and badges. Back when the game first came out, completionists were given the daunting task of completing story mode, getting max rank, max level, max salmon run rank, and getting all of the gear and weapons. This is a whole lot of stuff to do, but it's definitely manageable if you give the game enough time and dedication. That wasn't until an update came out that added the infamous gold flags and badges. All you need to know is that these achievements are on every weapon and literally take hundreds of hours to obtain. Now multiply that number by the number of weapons in the game, which is 139. This makes true 100% completion near impossible, unless you want this to be the only game that you play for the rest of your life. The best completionists can do is compromise and get a gold flag and badge on just their main weapon. But now things got a lot more complicated. Number 2. A new ranked mode. This is a bit of an obvious one, but a new ranked mode would add many more hours to my playtime of Splatoon 3. I know that the community of elite players don't really like Clam Blitz, but I thought it was a really fun addition to the game. Collecting clams to make a football that you need to enter a basket like a basketball is such a unique idea that's just as fun as it sounds. Something equally as fun would be more than enough to warrant my purchase for a new Splatoon game. If Nintendo wants to sell copies though, they'll need something bigger than that. A new ranked mode could fit into that category if it's something revolutionary enough. Imagine a Splatoon Battle Royale ranked mode. With proper marketing, that could just get the casuals interested in Splatoon's new game. Number 1. A reason to buy the game. Call it a hook if you want, but there's gotta be something big. Some reason Splatoon 3 is worth purchasing even if you have Splatoon 2, even to the casuals. They don't care about improved online performance. They don't care about skipping the news. They don't even care about a big new story mode. There needs to be a catch. Something I can't think of, but is an obvious next step for the series after it's announced. We still have yet to see this hook. If Nintendo never ends up showing off a hook, it's safe to say that Splatoon 3 will underperform compared to Splatoon 2. I genuinely hope there is some sort of hook so that this game is able to perform well and Nintendo keeps supporting the Splatoon franchise that we've all grown to love so much. Seriously, Splatoon 2 is so much fun and I just don't get to say that enough. Well, that was a pretty long list. If you stuck with us this long, you must have seriously enjoyed this video. So I ask, if you are still here, please subscribe to get notified of our future videos, as well as like and share this video around. The more shares this gets, the more people see it, and it would really help us out. This has been Chris with Game Domain, and I will see you all again real soon.